What's going on, everyone? It's CycleDad here, working on some haptic feedback for my racing rig. So I did some research and found out that this BST-2 bass shaker from Dayton Audio is one of the more popular brands and popular entry-level bass shakers for haptic feedback for different sim rigs. Specifically looking at for my iRacing setup here. Few things about it is that you do need an external amplifier. I got the bass shaker and the amplifier both from one of the more popular online retailers. Got it shipped to my house. In the meantime, I made some attachment points for my office chair, my son's office chair rather, and yeah, it was working fine, but there's a couple of issues I'll run through here in a second. I'll show you that original plate. Just to give you a good idea of what we're working with here. Here's the engineering drawing of the actual bass shaker itself. These are all in millimeters. And it's kind of important. This is going to go into the design work that I'm going to show you here in a little bit of where these mounting holes are, how big the bass shaker is, how it attaches to the chair. All of that needed to be taken into account, with also how big my 3D printer can print. So yeah, with that, let's get into looking at the old plate and into the designing of the new plate. So this here's the original bracket. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It did its job. It's a 10 mil thick plate with some 5 mil standoffs for the mounting bracket, so that would clear the bend in the chair bracket. It was 5 layers top and bottom at 0.3 millimeters, so 1.5 millimeter thick top and bottom with 15% infill in between. 7 wall thicknesses on the outside perimeter, which gives you just over 2 millimeters of solid on the outside. Did really well. It produced the strongest feedback at 50 hertz, so it's pretty stiff. Just a few issues that I had where the mounting points, I did not design those in, I drilled them through. And as you can see, when I tightened everything down, it kind of puckered and started collapsing in around those holes, so I knew it wouldn't last long term. Also, these standoffs for the bolts aren't tall enough to clear the bolt heads that I had holding this on. So yeah, let's get to the redesign. Kind of want to redesign this with a little bit of things that I learned along the way. I kept the basic layout here mostly because I know for a fact it'll fit on my 3D printer. If I change it, I don't know if it will fit, so I'm gonna run with this base. My plan is to make the bottom plate or the base plate where the speaker actually mounts to be 3 mil thick, solid all the way through. Planting now PETG carbon fiber. I'm gonna have a 7 millimeter web around the outside to give it some stiffness, a 5 millimeter internal web to give it some additional structural strength, as well as give me some clearance for the bolts, which was my main issue that I saw. And then where it mounts to the actual structure of the chair is going to be close to 10 mil thick. So sit back, enjoy. I'm going to start sketching out, and we'll see where we get here pretty quickly. There it goes. Loaded up some fresh PETG carbon fiber into the dryer that just arrived today. Also have some left over from my last project, so it's printing from 4 currently. Once it runs out, it will switch to 3 in theory. But yeah, it is going. Maybe one day I'll have a proper time-lapse camera, but for right now, this is what you get as a preview. Yeah, we'll check back in. It looks like about 3 hours. Look at the little guy go. Alright guys, it's finally done. Had to restart it a couple of different times for different problems, but as you can see, finally done. It doesn't look good. Let's pop this bad boy off the plate and see what it looks like. Alright guys, we got the old plate on the right, new plate on the left, and the 2 failed prints. So on this particular print, I reached in to move something off the build plate. The print head came and hit my hand. As you can see, layer shifts on it, so no bueno. So I started printing this one and realized that I misread the CAD drawings and that this particular speaker at its narrow point, side to side, is 131 millimeters, but bolt hole to bolt hole is actually 137 millimeters. So I'd redesigned it for a 3rd time. Very similar workflow to what you saw earlier, and this is what we came out with. All right, all mounted up. And as you can see, those bolts barely protrude above. If they do at all, it's barely. That should clear really, really nice. Everything lined up perfectly. I didn't feel really that much more flex. I mean, it was just barely noticeable, but we'll know when we start tuning it how much more flex it is based on the frequency of strongest response. So yeah, let's go put it on the chair and start tuning. There it is, all installed. Let's see how it works. Time to do some tuning. Alright guys, so tuning the bass shaker, at least the way that I'm doing it, is relatively simple. I have my amplifier set at halfway. I have sim hub here set at half or 50%. Now all that I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to start off at 10 hertz. Alright, and I'm just going to test. And I'll feel it. I can barely feel that, right? Go up 5. That's considerably nicer. Better. About the same. About the same. That's stronger. About the same. Way stronger. Way, way, way stronger. And that one's about the same. Starting to fade off just a little bit. Still starting to fade off just a little bit. About the same. Starting to really fade off. Basically unnoticeable. So right around 50 hertz, which is exactly what the other plate felt like. So I'm gonna try 50, 45. So I'm also looking for clean. Ooh, that's way stronger. So it looks like resonance frequency is somewhere around 55 hertz. I'm gonna go to Coach Chat and say, hey, vibration strongest at 55. What's your recommended settings? And that's what we're gonna start with. Probably tune it a little bit from there, but not by much. All right, everyone. After finding that the resonance frequency of the new plate was approximately 55 hertz, I did some playing around with some of the settings and jumped into a iRace in a race or event and realized, whoa, way more feedback than what I was expecting. Uh, had to turn the amplifier down to about 30% to find something that was reasonable and comfortable for me. I actually really like it there. Did several races last night and night previous with that setup, and it's great. It's you feel the bumps in the track. You feel your rear end starting to slide out a little bit. You feel the ABS a little bit. It's pretty nice, and of course the gear shifts also, which is the main thing that it was tuned for. So pretty cool, pretty awesome setup. So for those of you who have stuck around, if you have experience with CAD and 3D printing, what would be the one thing that you would tell yourself as you got started as a piece of advice that would uh, get you ahead of the game? And those of you who haven't done any CAD or 3D printing, what's one thing that you'd like to pick our brains and see what some of the more experienced people think? As always, if you enjoy content like this, feel free to like and subscribe. It'd be much appreciated. Until next time, CycleDad out.